Good afternoon, everybody. We'd like to welcome you to our seminar today, 8 Ways to Find Your First Customer. We appreciate you logging on with us from wherever you're at. I know we've got a number of you logging in from the Maricopa County area, from Mojave, some of you locally here in the Gila Valley area. We appreciate all of you being here today with us. So we're excited to have you join us, and I'll look forward to visiting with you for the next little bit. Have to apologize right off the bat. I've been trying to stay ahead of the sickness going around here, and it has caught up to me this morning. So if I sound a little rough today, I just want to apologize in advance for that. Hopefully my odd sounding voice today doesn't detract from our seminar. So anyway, just a couple of housekeeping things. As everybody has come in, we've already put you on mute as you come in today. So if you do have any questions, we invite you to ask those questions inside the chat feature that we have here. We do invite everybody to ask questions. As we go through, we'll try and answer those questions as best as we can as we go through. Our goal is always to answer those questions before the end of the seminar. So there may be some questions that may be better suited for answering later on, as we'll address those topics later on in this seminar. But we will try and get all of those answered, and we will have some time at the very end for more questions and answers at the very end of that as well. We are also recording this, and we will be sending out a link to you on Monday with the link to this. So in case you would like to go back and to rewatch this again, this will also be transcribed. So there'll also be a Word document available as well. So if you'd like that transcription of this, we can provide that to you as well. So, but with that being said, we want to welcome you to the seminar today. We expect this is probably not going to take super long to go through, half hour, 45 minutes, and we'll have all of you back and ready to get back to work here in just the next little bit. So before we get started, we like to go through and kind of give everybody a little bit of a background on who the SBDC is, what we do, what are our responsibilities and our roles for what we do here in our communities and throughout the nation. We are funded by the SBA. We are not the SBA, as many people think that we are, but we are funded through the SBA and a grant between them and a cost sharing agreement between them and our host institution. We happen to be housed here at Eastern Arizona College, and I've had the opportunity to be able to be here for about 31 years now, and have the distinction of being the oldest SBDC in the state of Arizona. So we're super excited about that, and have appreciated our relationship with Eastern Arizona College. We do provide no-cost counseling to current businesses. We also provide counseling to those who are either just getting started or who just want to explore an idea or a concept of whether or not they even want to go into business. We do offer low-cost classes, seminars such as we're doing today. Some things that we do have a low cost associated with those, but most everything we do, we try to keep no cost so that we can educate and inform our business owners to help them become more effective and efficient at what they're trying to do. Now, we are part of a network of 10 different centers statewide. I share that with you just so that you know that while we may not have complete and full expertise in every type of business that's out there, we do have an amazing team throughout the state. We'll share a map with you here in a few minutes of our state network. But if we cannot find that information with our own internal resources, we do have an amazing network that we reach out to try and help find that information where needed. Now, as I mentioned, we are part of a national network, a national organization. We have over 1,100 centers throughout the U.S. Alaska, Puerto Rico, we're the Virgin Islands, pretty much everywhere that U.S. has any sort of an influence at. We have about 4,500 full-time counselors, and in this last year, there were over 750,000 client businesses that we served through our operations, not just here, but of course, throughout the nation. Here in our state, we do have 26 different SBDC locations. This map will kind of give you an idea of where those locations are at. We also have 6 what we call PTAC offices. PTAC stands for Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. Those are our sister organizations of ours that work closely with those who are wanting to get into a procurement opportunity, or to contract with the federal government to provide their products or services to them. We work more closely on the business development side, and they work very closely on the contracting side, or taking you through the steps in order to begin those procurement opportunities. So we do specialize, of course, with international trade, clean tech. We have a number of initiatives that we work through as well that we try and focus on. So again, not every center specializes in every initiative, but throughout the network, again, we do have a large area of specialization through each of those centers. I also have listed here, as you'll notice, we have a new partner that we've just started with this year, beginning in the second quarter of this year, and that is the Arizona Commerce Authority. The Arizona Commerce Authority is the state's leading economic development organization. And we've been able to partner with them this year in helping to get their services out more into our rural areas, and all the offerings that they have to offer to help grow and to create new jobs here in the state of Arizona. They've also been able to contract with us to be able to help get that information out to rural and small businesses better. So we are super excited to have them on board with this and to be working with them. They've been a great partner so far this year. They've really brought a large number of new programs and services available to our small businesses. And so, of course, if any of you have anything that you think that we might be able to partner with them on that, please reach out to and let us know. We'd be happy to make contact there and find out how their services can more effectively help you in your business. So, all right, so let's get started with today. So the reason we're having this conversation today spans back to business failure, and I don't mean to necessarily start out my presentation today with a negative by any means, but in a recent poll of U.S. business owners, we found that about 25% of all businesses close up shop within the first year of launching. Now, that percentage isn't great by any means, but it should still provide some comfort to new business owners in knowing that the majority of businesses actually exist past the first year. The numbers used to be much more grim. These numbers actually look a little bit better that we received from the University of Tennessee, SBDC. You'll notice here that right about the 5-year mark is where we kind of break through that 50% threshold. And then by the end of year 10, if we look at the numbers there, only 29% of all businesses continue on through that. Now, we could get into a whole other conversation about why most businesses fail, why most businesses will close down. But ultimately, of most of the reasons why most businesses fail, it comes down to due to financial situations. One of those situations being we just don't have enough cash flow coming through the business to sustain it past that first year, second year, third year, and we're not able to develop enough of a customer base in order for that to happen. Now, most of us, when we open up our business right off the bat, we think we are going to be the be-all to end-all. We've got the greatest business that has ever been. We're going to come in and we're just going to have people lined up at our doors, ready to come in and purchase the products or to register for the services or hire us for whatever we're going to do. When in the reality is, when we first open up, things are pretty much going to be fairly slow. Getting those customers in, especially if you're in a brick and mortar situation, having customers coming in on that first day. The reality is businesses start slow. We don't have a huge lineup of customers and clients waiting and just dying for our services on day one. Developing those customers and keeping those customers is a lengthy process to go through. So what we're hoping to do today is to help us to identify if we're already opening up, what can we do to find more of those customers? If we're getting ready to open up, how can we have customers lined up and ready for us before we even begin? So our approach today is kind of twofold. As I look through our list of attendees today, I noticed that we do have a lot of you who are already in business. Hopefully some of the things that we share with you today will help you to expand that customer base, to improve that cash flow, and thereby improving overall profitability of your business. So we're going to go through 8 different ways today of how you can find those businesses. I'm going to introduce these to you, and then we're just going to go through these more in depth as we go through them more in depth. Number 1, make a list. The second thing is to look for referrals. The third is to work your network. The fourth thing is show it off. Fifth, we want to make sure that we're attending industry events. Sixth, let's team up with other business owners, especially like-minded or business that we can receive some synergy off of. Seventh, we want to make sure that we're building our online presence. And eighth, we want to make sure that we are spreading the word about our business on our social media platforms that we're utilizing. And we'll have a conversation about social media here in just a little bit. So first off, let's talk about making a list. Now, for those of you who've gone through this business development or who are building your business plans or who are already in business, you've probably already come across a lot of people who could be potential customers. Now, whether you're dealing with business to business, whether you're dealing with business to consumer or business to customer, you've run across a lot of people who have undoubtedly said, oh, this is a great product. This is a great service. This is a great business. I think you should do this and I will be a customer. We need to begin making that list right off of the bat so that we can then begin to reach out to them as we begin to get closer to start to introduce them more to our product line, our product offerings, our services that we have to offer, and give them that opportunity now to become that customer. So let's begin to, again, make that list of those that you've already come across, those that you've already conversed with, those that you've already met. It may be people that you've surveyed in a focus group or that you've connected with in some social media type platform. You can also do homework online to try and find companies that are likely buyers for what you have to sell and add them to that list. We begin to now start to develop our marketing list where we can start to do some direct mail opportunities too. Number 2, let's look for our referrals. Now, this is easy to do. We often think that word of mouth is only for someone to find out about you. We talked about, many people will say, well, my best advertising is word of mouth. That's great. But we need to also remember that word of mouth can also be a great way to find customers. And now it comes out of just a matter of asking somebody, do you know somebody who might be interested in what I'm selling? Do you know anybody who might be interested in these services? And undoubtedly, you're going to find somebody who will say, I have a cousin, or I have a friend, or I have another business partner that we work with who could utilize this in their business. You never know where a great referral is going to come from and what the outcomes of those referrals are going to be. So alert your social media connections, your neighbors, your former coworkers, even distant cousins from somewhere that you are now looking for customers and are ready to start providing your services and products to those who are interested. Get your spouse involved, get friends and other connections to help brainstorm ideas for who those first customers might be as well. I love brainstorming, I love thinking outside the box. As people start to provide those ideas of who those customers might be, we never, ever, ever squelch an idea or a possibility of a customer. Some of the most outrageous ideas many times turn out to be some of the very best ideas, whether it's the business idea or especially who that first customer or who a customer could potentially be as part of that. Number 3, work your network. Find out, do you have a local business networking group that exists for your industry? And if so, start to participate in some of those meetings. For those of us who live in smaller communities, in rural communities, finding those local networking groups become very difficult to find many times. Because we're in a small community, we have a small pie that we're all fighting for those dollars. And sometimes we may be a little concerned or a little hesitant and sharing information and working that network together as part of that. But there are benefits that can come from those networks if we give them the opportunity. So connecting with other businesses, focusing on sharing how you can help others, not so much on how they can help you, gives them the opportunity of being able to find ways to if they have customers who come in who cannot benefit from their goods and services, they may be able to refer them over to you. I've always loved every year, and as we're going into the holiday season, I try to prevent my family from watching Christmas movies before Thanksgiving hits. But Thanksgiving night, we always have a tradition of watching Miracle on 34th Street. And for those of you who know, one of the great things that they did in that business was if somebody came to their business and came to their shopping store and they did not have what they wanted, they would find a place for them to go. That's what I mean about working your network. Many times, even though we may refer a customer to somebody else, we have now established a closer relationship and we'll be able to keep that customer longer because we've been able to meet their need, even though we may not have been able to be the one to meet that need. So utilize that network to your advantage as part of that. Now, another great way of finding networks for you to be able to incorporate with and find more customers is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great tool of being able to connect with like-minded or like industry business owners, in reaching out to them and having conversation in network forums, reaching out to them one-on-one, being able to market to them or at least share your insights, your products and your goods to them as well. So if you've never been involved in LinkedIn, I would invite you to do that. Go in, create your profile, begin to join some of those industry groups, communicate with them, share your insight, learn from their insight. There's a lot of great benefits that will come from that, not just from a business growth or from an individual growth, but a great place to be able to mine and find customers that you may have never, ever come across outside of those forums there. The next way to do this is to show it off. Many of you are going to have opportunities in your businesses to be able to exhibit at trade shows that are going to attract your target customers. So for instance, if you're starting a wedding planning business, a bridal trade show would be an excellent place to go and to rent a booth. We need to make sure though, but before we go to these trade shows, that we are ready to deliver when a customer places that order or makes a purchase. Now, trade shows for most of us, when we talk about small businesses in our rural and in our local areas, might be local events that may just be a downtown event, a harvest festival, a maker's fair, a downtown event where booths can be set up from all types of businesses. If many times we have to go out and to develop that market because people may not be coming into you. So let's take our products and services to the people so that they can expose them to the things that we have to offer. Trade shows can be great, they can be expensive, but they are where we can find some of our larger partners who may have interest in your products or services. I'll give you one example. In my previous life, before being with SBDC, we had a software company that tracked asset depreciation. Now, I know you're thinking that is one of the most exciting industries and most exciting softwares you could ever be involved in, but it was a software and an industry that was rapidly changing and lots of things that were happening. And some of our largest partners that we found for that came from trade shows where we would go and could not only share to individuals or to businesses who wanted to purchase our software, but we actually ended up becoming a partner with a larger software company who wanted to provide asset depreciation as part of their accounting package, but did not have to develop that program themselves. So we were able to then develop a very strong relationship with this company and created a whole new offering to a whole new group of their customers of providing our product as their asset depreciation solution And it became a great partnership, a great relationship, and one that really expanded our product line and our customer base in a number of ways. So trying to find those are great ways of being able to do that. Now, another way of being able to work within these are to attend industry events. If you're selling business to business, you don't necessarily have to buy a booth to benefit from trade shows or industry conferences. You can just go and attend to learn. But not just go and attend to learn, but go prepared to meet people. Be prepared with some of your key marketing materials, such as business cards, sales sheets, promotional materials, of course. Now, when you go to these, I don't want you to go and try and pitch people with a hard sell. Instead, I want you to go and focus on building connections with people who could be helpful in your new business. And then contact them when you get back to the office and start building that relationship. Ask them questions more about what they're doing and how your product, again, can benefit them rather than how they can benefit you and your bottom line. So industry events are great ways to find some of those new partners as well, especially in a business-to-business format rather than a business-to-customer or business-to-consumer format. Next, let's think about teaming up with other business owners. Find another entrepreneur whose products or services are complementary rather than competitive with yours, and ask about connecting you with prospective clients. So for instance, let's say that you're starting a pool cleaning business, for example. Check with local lawn care companies and see if they know any clients whose pools may be looking a little rough, a little shabby, and ask them for a referral. Find companies who again, there may be opportunities. Maybe you are the lawn care company and you need to refer somebody now over to a pool cleaning business to provide those opportunities. Maybe you are a landscaping company who does the install, but now needs somebody in order now to do the landscape maintenance company as part of that. Again, this is where we were able to team up. Going back to my previous example, we teamed up with another company. We didn't want to get into accounting software. They didn't want to get into depreciation software. We were able to team up with them directly to create now a complementary program rather than a competitive program. And it was one that definitely benefited both businesses in the long run as part of that. So team up with them. How can we work those together? Can we do cross promotions together? Where if we frequent one business, there may be discounts at another business. Maybe we buy pictures at one business, but we're also teaming up with a framing company to take care of all their framing needs. To be able to, again, finding those like-minded customers that become synergistic in nature, so that we can then, again, add those customers into ours just by marketing or co-marketing with a business that is within not necessarily the same industry, but a similar industry of which there is some synergy. Number 7, let's talk about building an online presence. Now, I am a firm believer of what I call priming the pump. So especially for businesses who have not opened up yet, who are getting ready to open up that business, I am a strong believer and a strong proponent that we need to create the online presence for that business well in advance of the business opening up, so that we can then start to provide information about that company and that business before you even open your doors. Now we start to introduce that. We start to build top of mind awareness, brand awareness. People begin to get excited about that. Let me give you a small example. We live in a very rural area down here, and in a neighboring community about 20 minutes down the road, they were getting ready to reopen a new business. It hadn't been open in quite some time, but was really needed to be opened for that community. Early on, they began their online presence with their Facebook page and started to keep everybody up to date on renovation processes, what was going on, what was going to go on with the menu, what were the new offerings they were going to be offering, what were the services they were going to be offering, and started to build this up literally 3-4 months before the business even opened up. And on day one, when that business opened up, they literally had a line of people out the door waiting to come into that business, to see the changes, to see what was going on, to eat the food, to place the orders. It was a great, great example of creating their online presence before they even opened up their doors to begin to prime that pump. Now, when I talk about creating an online presence, I usually think of there's three different, if we consider legs of a stool, there are three different legs that I always focus on. The first one, of course, are our websites. Having websites up and running, even if it's just a simple page with standard information. We know that websites tend to be fairly static, meaning that they don't change a whole lot. But we want that to be there. Using SEO tools, search engine optimization tools, to get found when people search for you online. Making sure, again, that information is available if somebody is searching for that. Your first customer very well could come from a search engine. So that's one of the first legs of the stool. The second leg is your local listings. Getting your Google listings done. What we call local listings are, if someone searches for on Google or Bing or Yahoo, and they begin to type in, I'm looking for a massage therapist, it typically will pop up near me. When we search in that area, Google will do what we call a local search before they do a nationwide search. So if I'm searching for pizza and I want to get a good pizza tonight, I'm going to search for pizza, and I don't want to know where a pizza place is in Hoboken, New Jersey. I want to know where a pizza place is in the Gila Valley that's close and nearby. So the second leg of that stool now is to get our local listings up and going, so that your local customers, when they're Googling you, when they're on Bing, when they're on Yahoo, whatever they're searching on, will find you as a local listing rather than trying to find you necessarily on a website that we're still trying to get our SEO up and going to be found and have good listings there as part of that. Now, the third leg of that leads me into our eighth way of finding customers, and that is our social media. Now, the big question I always get asked by so many people is, well, what social media should I be on? And there are literally hundreds of different types of social media that they should be on. And my answer to them is, where is your target market at? Is your target market on Snapchat? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Twitter? Are they watching videos on YouTube? Are they using Instagram? If we know where your target market is at, then we can then start to utilize that social media. Now, again, starting that social media and starting those social media accounts before your business officially launches is a great way, again, to generate excitement about the soft opening, the grand opening, about your products and your services. You can utilize social media advertising to target people who meet specific target market criteria and get them to follow you for updates. Facebook is amazing at their advertising, that you can pick specific demographics, psychographics, what their preferences are on Facebook to market your products directly to them, whether you are doing Facebook ads or whether you are boosting posts. It is a great way to get them to follow you for updates, and then encourage them to then spread the word onto their friends, and so on and so on and so on. All right, so social media is probably the understated. I probably saved the best for last in finding those first customers. I know that we probably have lots of different business types that are sitting in on this seminar today, but so each of these that we've talked through, of those the 8 ways that we've gone through, some of those may fit for you and your type and your business. Some of them may not fit. So find those that fit best within what you're trying to do and begin to expand and to look into those areas more. Now, we talked a lot today, and I was just going to wrap up with, let's talk about how do we find those first customers. But I also wanted to add a section today and to wrap up today about how do we retain our customers. Getting the customer is super excited. Finding and converting a new customer is super, super exciting. However, many businesses make the mistake of overlooking the valuable customers that they already have and focus most of their marketing efforts on recruitment instead of focusing on customer retention. Now, there's a number of there's quite a bit of research that's out there, but it is nearly 7 times less expensive to retain an existing customer than it is to gain a new one. So if we're thinking about our marketing dollars, and we know that those are valuable dollars, we probably need to spend our time not necessarily focusing on new customers. Now, in the beginning, you have to focus on new customers to get cash flow going, to create customer base. But at some point, we need to make sure that those customers are coming back and still continuing to spend those dollars at our business, and they're not just a one and done. So let's talk through about what these 6 ways are real quickly. Number 1, I want you to stay in touch and encourage their interaction. Keep alerting your customers to promotions, rewards programs, product updates, any other content that you think that they're going to find interesting and relevant. Ask people to share their stories. Hold contests to encourage more engagement from those customers. Try and stay a step ahead by anticipating some of those future challenges that they may have and suggest some solutions for them. If you haven't heard from some particular customers in a while, don't be afraid to reach out to them. Even if the efforts that you're putting in don't result in immediate sales, they're going to go a long way toward keeping your brand first in your customers' minds. The second thing, which we just wrapped up talking about, is make sure that you're making the most of your social media. Again, social media networks are extremely useful in maintaining customer contact even after the initial sale. They're great opportunities to engage your customer, building trust by showing the personal side of your business. Monitor your customers' opinions, their interests, their motivations. Try and pinpoint and reward your most loyal customers. Try and again, as always, I think the big worry that a lot of people have with social media are that if there are negative perceptions about that business and negative comments that may be left, make efforts to change those negative perceptions by allowing other followers to provide commentary on great customer service. Most consumers are going to turn to social media platforms to do industry research, to do product research, and they're going to turn to those same platforms to ask questions, register complaints, to try and resolve product issues. So take advantage of that social media that you're using to show how your brand is listening and about how you care about your customers. Number 3, get personal. Many customers place as much value on the quality of your service, your friendliness, your comfort, your familiarity, as they do on the quality of your product. I want you to remember that 70% of buying experiences are based upon how the customer feels they are being treated rather than what they are actually purchasing. So make your business a friendly and accommodating partner to your customers. You may want to customize your offers around actual customer behavior. Maybe you're utilizing analytics on your customer rather than trying to make predictions based upon general demographics or personal perceptions. Recognize your loyal customers by name. Use that name when you see them out in public or when they walk into your business. Show appreciation to them with coupons. Maybe there's some special offers we can offer them, some sneak previews or thank you notes. One of the ideas that I had the other day was, well, we can kind of skip on by that, but give those people who are frequenting your businesses more regularly, give them some perks and advantages that maybe those who are one and done customers may see. Again, maybe it's a special night where they can come in for a frequent customer night, special discounts for those. Invite them to forums or ask for feedback. Let them know that you value their opinions on the growth and expansion of either product lines or of your business itself. Number 4, problem solve. We know and we should all understand that our customers are going to have problems. But when they do have those problems, make sure that they can speak with a real sympathetic person, preferably in person or by phone. Even in our digital world today, people still like to communicate with other people. 75% of customers believe that it takes too long to reach a live agent on a telephone or on an online chat. I know myself, I would much rather call somebody up and wait 15 minutes to talk to a live person rather than trying to figure out a frequently asked questions page or go through an email contact form, because many times it usually just frustrates me even more and it takes even longer to get solutions or answers that way. So empower your employees to fix problems when they arise. If we have employees who are kept really well informed and believe that they can make a difference for our clients, are going to be much more motivated to care and are going to take much more responsibility, thereby increasing not only the problem-solving experience, but the customer experience that they're going to have as part of their in-house or business experience with us. Number 5, take responsibility. Your brand is only as good as the reputation behind it. Again, when problems arise, and we know that they're going to arise, admit to the mistake and apologize if necessary. There's a great phrase that I heard once, and it says, honesty demonstrates authenticity. Be honest, be upfront, don't pass the buck, take ownership, take responsibility. What that does is it lets the customer see that you're willing to correct either a faulty process or a faulty product or a lack of quality in a particular product, and that you're trying to prevent future mistakes. When we begin to take the side of our customers, rather than the customer is always right, and having this confrontational issues or confrontational relationship when they have a problem, if we take the side of the customer and work side by side with them through that process, many times we gain and we develop a stronger customer because we have worked through a problem together to resolve that for their benefit. And many times we will have them come back and become a much stronger customer and an advocate for your business, rather than becoming now the naysayer or the troll or the negative person who talks about your business. So take responsibility, become partners with them in that, so that you can, again, keep them on your side and keep them as a strong customer as part of that. And finally, keep good time. Again, there was a recent survey that revealed that 24 hours or less is widely considered as an acceptable email responsible time, or an email response time, I'm sorry. So make sure that your customer support actions are consistent with the brand image that you want to convey, as well as your customers' expectations. If you have Facebook set up to be able to receive those messages, respond to those messages in a timely manner. If it's after hours, make sure that our autoresponders are set up to respond to them and let them know that their message is important to us and that we will be responding back to them at our earliest convenience when we return back to the office. If you make a product or service to improve system performance, we want to make sure that we are not taking too long to respond to our customers' dilemmas, especially if they're trying to provide a service onto their customers as well. So again, immediate response to customers is always, again, a great way of showing that authenticity. It again creates value in our brands, it expands our brand, and it ensures that our customers know that they are important to us. And when they know that they are important to us, then we begin to become important to them. And then they continue to return back, thereby continuing cash flow, improving cash flow, giving us more stable cash flow through the business. And again, which ultimately, hopefully, is then in turn reflecting down into the profit line of the business itself. So ultimately what this is all about is changing the expectation to the reality. and making the reality the expectation of success. So there's a lot of different things that we can do as part of this. There's a lot of things that we can do in advance. Lots of work that can be done. Our goal is to ensure that you're seeing the success in your business as part of that. So we've gone through a lot of things today, both in the finding of customers and the things that we can do there, as well as in the keeping of those customers. So if there's anything that we can do, even after today, if there's anything that we can help or assist you with in trying to create a stronger customer base, whether we're getting the process of opening and how can I start to prime that pump and get people excited about coming into my business and getting that started, please let us know. All of our contact information is here. If you are outside of our service area here and one of our sister SBDCs throughout the state, let us know. We would be more than happy to get you in contact with them and provide so that they can provide you those same resources that we have here. And again, if you want to give us a call and work with us directly, we're more than happy to do that. We are a shared resources network, meaning that whatever they have, we have access to. Whatever we have, they have access to. So please let us know if there's anything more that we can help you with as part of that. Come find us on Facebook. Come find us on Instagram. We just got back up and going on Instagram, so we're excited to have you come and follow us there for more information and for more detailed assistance out for you there. So again, if there's any questions, we'd be happy to entertain those questions now at this point. I don't see that we have any here. I don't think Janelle has any on her end as well either. So we'll just kind of hang tight here for just a second in case anybody does have any questions that we can answer. If not, again, as a reminder, we will be sending this information out to you on Monday that you can review again, listen to. As always, it's been great to have you a part of all of this today. Again, keep your eyes open. Now that you've registered for this seminar, we will keep you apprised of all of our future seminars as well. And we look forward to having you participate there as that. So I did get a question here. Is there a difference between a Facebook boost and an ad? There is a difference between those. Facebook ads, or I'm sorry, Facebook ads, we typically can customize an ad to be a specific message. So let me give you an example here. Many of us post on Facebook on a regular basis. We'll put a post on there talking about our product, or it may be something that we may be introducing. It may be a video that we're showing where we are talking about a particular product benefit, introducing a new product, giving somebody a walkthrough of our offices or something we may be doing there. And that has gone out, and we want to boost that. We can then boost that so that it goes out to a broader base. It gets moved up again, back up into people's timelines so that they're seeing that again, rather than being hidden down into timelines that may be hidden again due to Facebook analytics. Not analytics, due to Facebook's
algorithms.
To their algorithms. Those algorithms are change frequently, and by boosting that, it allows us to bypass some of those algorithms and get those back up in the front of eyes again more regularly. An ad is a little bit differently, where we can now target that ad specifically to customer demographics. We can target that to maybe a particular zip code, a particular demographic. Maybe we want to target 55 and old men who live in a specific zip code, who Facebook happens to know has a certain income that we can target into. So ads are a little bit different than boosts. Both can be extremely effective in how we utilize those. Again, there are expenses to both of those. Utilize those and test those. I've seen some people who have more success with their Facebook boosts than they do their ads. I see some people who've had great success with their ads and have had huge success in increasing their customer base by using those ads. So I'm a firm believer in testing. Test those out side by side and see which one performs better. If you're doing ads, do 2 different ads marketed to the same demographics and see which one performs better in those. Again, you're always in charge of the dollar amounts that you're setting there. So I'm not expecting you to go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but you can do 2 small test ads out there to find one which performs better, and then to begin to promote that one a little bit better. Anyway, hope that answered that okay for you, Irene. Another question that just came in from ED Computers: is the local chamber a great place to start? We love our local chambers. Local chambers are engaged in trying to help benefit our local communities as well. So becoming members of those chambers can be a great way of getting your information out. Our chambers are great to come out and do ribbon cuttings. They're great to do promotions in their local newspapers, or in their whatever they're doing locally on their local websites, and helping to promote your business there locally. Another great thing that chambers do is that if somebody is coming into them looking for a business or looking for a particular product, chambers are really, really good at promoting their members. So when we can become a member of a chamber, we now have an advocate, we have an advertiser, we have a promoter, we have somebody who's going to be getting the word out about our particular businesses as well. So by all means, work with your chambers on everything that they have going on. Become members of those chambers. Not only are chambers great at promoting us, but it's also great at promoting our communities. And so ultimately, when we're creating a business, we're not only creating a business that supports us, but we're creating a business that supports our local economies and our local communities. And the chambers are the champions of that. So again, I would strongly recommend working with your local chambers, and also picking their brains as to who might be other businesses that they're aware of that we can either target as customers, that we can partner with as a either like again, teaming up with another business. Lots of opportunities along with those, so utilize those. Anyway, excellent questions. Thanks to both of you for answering those. Again, everybody, thank you so much for participating with us today. We hope that the information's been beneficial to you. As always, if there's anything more that we can do for you after today, we are always happy to do that in any way that we can. So best of luck to you in your businesses, and we look forward to seeing you guys at our next seminar.